Wolfgang Benzin is very upset. And there is no surprise that Udon Ove Olsen comes in first and takes the checkered flag. Now we're going to take a look at the C final for Division 2. Now Division 2, of course, includes the Group B cars. Here, Jouko Patali takes the lead in front of Terje Shi, a Norwegian driving a four-wheel drive Ford Escort, seemingly just inches behind the leader, and he maintains that following all the way through the race. For some reason, just a slight miscalculation adds inches or feet to the lead of the car in front, but Shi keeps that Ford Escort right behind, and as you'll see, throughout the entire race. And at the finish line, it is, of course, Jouko Patali coming in, followed closely by Terje Shi, and the field, the rest of the field, is far behind. Next up, we have the B final for Division 1, and taking the early lead is Håkon Eversen, followed closely by Bjorn Skogstad, driving a Ford Escort RS Turbo. The winner of the C final in Division 1, Olden Ove Olsen, is third, followed by P.O. Davidson. But P.O. Davidson doesn't give up that easily, and he does some very fancy driving here and regains third place. As we continue around the course, the leaders once again, Eversen, Skogstad, and Davidson. Coming around this curve here, we see Skogstad and the Ford Escort take over the lead just by inches, but I'll tell you, Eversen just followed him closely all around the track until we finally find that Skogstad is having some problems with the Escort, and Eversen is pushing him around the track, but obviously not fast enough. Eversen took the checkered flag, followed by Olsen. But, you know, these drivers never give up, even if they have to push their way across the finish line. In the B final Division 2, we find the first one out of the chute is former Swedish go-kart champion Mikael Norrstrom, followed by Timo Vertanen, and English competitor John Welsh driving a Ford, and Jarmo Lehtomäki spins out coming around this first curve here, and of course that costs him time and the race. All that go-kart racing must have paid off because Mikael Norrstrom takes the checkered flag, followed by Timo Vertanen. Then it's the A final in Division 1. Not surprisingly, Arnest Norstedt takes an early lead here with the rest of the pack battling for the other positions. We'll find a little bit later here, coming around the curve, with Finnish Saab driver Jouko Kallio battling it out with Trevor Reeves. Kallio won the battle for second place, as we see here, coming around this next curve. But just barely, by inches, he pushes Trevor away, and Håkon Eversen even passes Reeves to take third place. Following in the pack is Rolf Mosquito Nielsen and Jan Gulbrandsen. And not surprisingly, way out in front is Arnest Norstedt, but the battle for the other position is definitely not over. They are bunched right together, inches apart, and they're trying for every possible position to get ahead of the driver in front. Oh, here we saw Jouko Kallio spin out, lose a lot of time, and he was just passed by everybody. Coming into the checkered flag area, Arnest Norstedt takes the checkered flag, followed by Rolf Mosquito Nielsen, Håkon Eversen, Jan Gulbrandsen, and Trevor Reeves. Jouko Kallio brings up the rear after that bad spin. Here he is taking his well-deserved wave to the crowd. Anders Norstedt. Now the battle of the big guns. The A final for Division 2. And they're off. And not surprisingly, the top three drivers are right out there in front. Martin Skanke taking off in his Ford, followed by Uli Arnesen and Matti Alamäki. Coming around the curve again, there they are, bunched together, the top three drivers in Division 2, followed by Leif Nyvall, Mikael Norrstrom, and Seppo Niittymaki. the battle for first, second, and third continues to be with those top drivers. And here is Martin Skanke, Mr. Rallycross himself, just driving the heck out of this course, pleasing the crowd, and of course, pleasing himself in that beautiful Ford Escort. But Ole Arneson will not give up. He is desperately trying to get past Mr. Rallycross, Martin Skanke. He just doesn't seem to be able to do it. There must be something that is holding him back. And speaking of being held back, where is Matti Alamak? He should be right up there with those three. Maybe he's a little nervous in front of his hometown. There, you'll see the finish. Martin Skanke, Ole Arneson, and Matti Alamak. 1, 2, and 3. The top three drivers in Division 2, and Martin Skanke and his Ford take it once again. The banner behind him is well-deserved, for Martin Skanke has been a 4-time champion. Can he do it again? Alencon is the next stop, approximately 200 kilometers southwest of Paris, in the beautiful French countryside. A very warm and dusty challenge for the drivers. The action started with Yosa Notario entirely too fast into the turn and out of it. And once again, the Wild Bunch is at it again, no one giving an inch, with this result. Fortunately, Skanke recovered, but Alamaki was out with suspension problems. Next up, we see Seppo Niittymaki, who was the fastest during the qualification rounds in Division 2. How sharp he takes that turn. Mr. Rallycross tries to make up time after the collision and does it again. Here you can see what damage can be done to these seemingly invincible cars. One thing about Rallycross, the action never stops. Here's B Final Division 1 with Paul Davidson taking the lead slightly, followed by Knut Boberg, Jean-Baptiste Point, Jean-Jacques Benissa, and Jan Gudbranson. Now, Jean-Baptiste Point is driving an exclusive BMW 635 CSI. It's exclusively for Rallycross. Paul Davidson still out in front, working his way to Division 1, A Final. Taking those turns with authority. Hitting the asphalt there, skidding slightly back onto the dirt. You can see behind him, of course, is Knut Boberg, Jean-Baptiste Point, Jean-Jacques Benissa, and Jan Gudbranson. And back around, Paul Davidson still in front by a good lead, along with Knut Boberg. Oh, look how close they came there. Here Davidson seems to pour it on slightly, hits the asphalt again, and takes off for the checker. Knut Boberg right with him, followed by Jean-Baptiste Point, Jean-Jacques Benissa, and Jan Gudbranson. And coming up next, Division 2, the big guys. Here John Welsh, the English driver, takes off in his Ford Escort X-Track. Kjetil Brunneset in his 20-valve Audi Quattro is right behind him, but he's going to be having engine trouble right here. You'll see the camera pan slightly to the right. He's hesitated there. The entire pack is ahead of him. We have John Welsh first, Jacques Ida second, and Max Mammers third. John Welsh holds on to that lead, slows down slightly around the curve, starts to accelerate up the hill. Right behind him, Jacques Ida, Max Mammers, and the rest of the pack, trying to close in, desperately trying to get ahead of the folks in front. And here is poor Kjetil Brunneset in his lone turbo. And John Welsh then goes around the circuit for the last time to take the checkered flag. Coming in second was Jacques Ida, and Max Mammers was third. Back to Division 1, the A final, and Aldenova Olsen takes the early lead. He cuts off Alain Coupier slightly, causing Coupier to go up on two wheels. But Coupier recovers and takes off with the rest of the pack, trying to catch up to Olsen. That's not the first time those two are going to, shall we say, touch each other during this race. They're all out. This is the final. They want to be first, each and every one of these drivers. As you'll see, they know the finish is near. They'll start to pour it on. Here they are coming down the straight with Olsen in the lead, with Coupier right behind. And Olsen takes that turn just a little wide. Coupier sneaks through. They're side by side, battling out for first place, pushing and shoving, and Coupier goes up over the bank. He goes down onto the track again, tries to turn himself around, gun the car, and, well, it doesn't work. The mind is willing, but the car is not. Here's that same collision at a different angle. There's Coupier up and over the bank. That didn't help Olsen at all. He lost valuable time, and of course, first place. Theo Davidson taking over first place, flying around that track. But what we don't see are problems that Davidson ran into. He took a wide turn, and Ivarsson takes the lead. Here also, Norstedt has caught up with Davidson. He's pounding away at Davidson for second, but Davidson does win and goes on to take second place. But that takes nothing away from the beautiful driving of Håkon Eversen, who takes first place, followed by Theo Davidson and Anders Norstedt. And now, battleship roll once again. A final for Division 2, and Mr. Rallycross, Martin Schenke and the Ford Escort taking the lead, followed by Matti Alamäki, Seppo Niittymaki, and Englishman John Welsh follows, with fifth place going to Ole Arnesen and Mikael Nordstrom picking up the rear. Look at Mr. Rallycross Schenke go. You can see the damage on the front end there of Matti Alamäki's car. As it comes spinning around the start-finish line, it's really close, neck and neck. Here you see Martin Schenke taking that turn wide. Now, any other driver would have lost first place on that move there, but not Mr. Rallycross. He holds on to first place for dear life, once again followed by Matti Alamäki. And something must have happened to Seppo Niittymaki. He's all the way back in fifth place. It's the Englishman John Welsh and Swede Ole Arnesen battling it out for third with, well, John Welsh comes across, winning the battle for third place, but it's Mr. Rallycross number 1, Matti Alamäki number 2, and John Welsh number 3. And just like in American football, when they score a touchdown, they dance. Well, so does Martin Schenke. He's famous for that spin every time he wins a final. Let's take a look now at the results of the first 3 rounds of the 1986 Rallycross. The total results on Welsh's pleasure. This is the 4th round, taking place in Belgium for the 1986 Rallycross. And you know, drivers always get together and compare notes, you know, discuss track conditions, but it's really all on the course that counts. And tell you, she, way in the back and retiring early is a named driver. That's Arnold Martinson. We haven't figured out why he retired so quickly. Here they go, pushing these Group B cars to the limit here in Belgium. And look at this, it's still Lekmäki and Bonneset, first and second. Bonneset really putting the pressure on Lekmäki.